What up, all of you Ugnots and Jawas out there, and welcome back to Mando Talk. It's been a long time coming, battling, dipping, and dodging all the sicknesses and busyness, and we're here to talk about Skeleton Crew, folks. We've made it. It's been what? It's been out now for a full week. This is now the second week of release, and Mando Talk has been MIA. That nice, precise, planned out schedule that I made. Yeah, that wasn't that. It lasted what? Not even a day.
Not even.
But that's okay. Hey, y'all know how it goes. If you're a man, if you're a long time Mando Talkian, you know how it goes at this point with Mando Talk. But we greatly appreciate you supporting Mando Talk yet again as we are covering a new Star Wars show together. This marks what, like the fourth, fifth? I don't. I've lost track at this point, but I'm so thrilled to finally get to talk about Skeleton Crew. Spoiler discussion. We're going to hit all episodes 1 through 3 with the chat, who's with us live, and also Zach Horvath. What's up, Zach?
What up? Finally, we've made it. Yes. Man, I'm so excited to talk to Keller. I'm so excited to talk to you guys in the chat. Oh man, I'm so excited to talk about Skeleton Crew. It's here.
Yeah, I feel
Let's
that.
go.
And I know we say this like every time we talk about a new show, a new episode, and we say, yeah, we haven't really texted or talked about it this much, and that's true most of the times, but sometimes it's also to like be like, we haven't really fully digested it or dived into it together.
We haven't dove in.
We haven't even surface leveled with this yet, really.
All you've said to me is, "Hey, I watched the 2 episodes, and we didn't even talk at all about today."
Right. Right.
So that you guys are getting straight hot off the press takes and just discussion.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, and I'm excited for it. And the Galactic Cantina is in the chat. What up? Saying, yo, episode was really good. We're getting an episode on Christmas Eve. Yeah. It's gonna be tough to cover the episodes on the holidays. I can't lie. And hey, here on Mando Talk, we're just gonna do it by the fly. How about that? That nice little schedule that I put out there. Yeah. I'll try my best. But we're going to be covering every episode at some point. So stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button on whatever platform you're listening, because it is back on the podcast airwaves now that we are, in season. So shout out to all of our podcast listeners if you are watching this after the live stream. So again, reminder, chat, throw your thoughts in there at any point as you have them. We will discuss them. And Zach, without further ado, I guess it'd be helpful if I pulled up my notes here for us to run through episode 1 and 2. We may need to do like 1 and 2, like maybe quicker than normal, just because, the main topic for probably everyone clicking in is episode 3, because most people are eager and ready to talk about episode 3. So let's see. Episode 1, though, let's hit it real quick. Spoiler discussion, by the way.
You just want to go overall real quick?
Yeah. You know what? Let's do that. Overall thoughts on Skeleton Crew.
Okay.
I'll let you go first, Zach, because I'm dying to hear what you have to say.
All right. So if you're a listener, zoom in, get close. If you've been a long time listener here, I have been vibing with this trailer. Trailers. I've been vibing with the everything about this, except for it's like a kid's show in the Star Wars world. Like, that's the one curveball that I'm like, what does that mean? I love this show. I love this show. I love it. It is better than I could have even expected in terms of storytelling, cinematography, directing, acting. Dude, the kids are so good, man. Everything is just firing on all cylinders somehow right off the bat for me. Episode 1, I'm leaned up in my seat going, am I loving this right now? Am I sucked in? Yes. And then episode 2 locks me into, I love this show already. I am in. I want to know more about it. The hooks are just so good. And then episode 3 tonight, even better. It's just keeps getting better, and I love it. They're they're giving me the information that I need, and it's keeping it mysterious, and it's so entertaining, and it's Star Wars. Don't hit me with it's not Star Wars. It's Star Wars, and it's so good, man. It's
Mhm.
so good. That's why I've been so hyped to get in the room with you here because, man, this is like, oh, oh,
Yeah. I know going into it, a lot of the talk online was, "Ooh, does that really feel like Star Wars?" With that, with now that we can call it add-in.
yep,
Is it really giving Star Wars? I think honestly, the most intriguing thing for me by far. And there's a lot of things that are intriguing, but the most for me is that stinking planet, man. Like, I want to know everything about Atten. That was and that planet, the way it looked, is what everyone was going into the show worried about. And I feel like in my pre-release show, the last time that I live streamed forever ago, I mentioned like I expected this planet to almost have like a character sense to it, and
yeah,
we 1000% got that. Like
yeah,
I
you
and
did.
I adore this planet and the mysteriousness that's behind it. I love this show. I'm
Galactic
just like
Cantina.
you.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You go ahead. I cut you off.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
I was just saying I
I,
love this show. I'm just like you. I
I
had
love it.
expectations that it was going to be, lighthearted, kid friendly, all those things. We've talked about it. It's that, but more. Like it exceeded my expectations. I'm
Yep.
thrilled. I'm thrilled.
I
Go ahead.
love hearing that. I love hearing that. I was gonna say Galactic Cantina. We're getting an episode on Christmas Eve. The owl CGI.
I didn't notice it, and maybe it was because the screen I was watching on.
So here's the thing. I know we're jumping ahead, but like it was practical and then CGI. So, dude, I was sold. I was like,
Yeah,
this looks incredible to me.
and Galactic,
I
you
don't
may
know
have
if
a better setup than me. I didn't notice it personally, but you
Galactic
may
may be
have.
saying it was good. I don't know. I would say it was
Oh, yeah, that's
amazing
true. That's true.
because like I was very impressed. Galactic, let us know. And pretty sure it's the first John and Dave produced show. I have no idea about that. I won't lie to you.
Maybe
Um,
Boba Fett? Maybe?
ah, I hope
I
not.
can't remember. Can't remember.
But yeah, no, like, dude, I am loving this show. And the one thing we did say back and forth in our text was, and what I said to you was the cinematography, the shots. As you guys know, that's my jam. I love thinking about a composition and the shots and what they're showing. Incredible work here.
Yeah,
Incredible work. All right,
I
let's
agree.
just. I think we're gonna have to kind of burn through 1 and 2 here. If like,
Yeah, I think so. Let's do it that way. So let me just go through all the things that I felt were things that were worth noting in a podcast.
mhm.
I'll just hit them real quickly and we'll just kind of see how it goes. If you feel like you want to interrupt me, feel free to do
Okay,
so.
sure.
How about that? Okay, so Skeleton Crew episode 1. And again, I promise, folks, we are definitely going to get to episode 3. And throw in any thoughts in the chat. I want to say that first. Like, do you feel differently? We're both saying that we love it. Are you not necessarily all the way there? Are you there? Are there some critiques that you have? Let us know. Any thoughts are welcome. If you hate it, hey, that's welcome too. Let us know. We just want to have a discussion. That's why we call it an open spoiler discussion, baby. You're part of the show just as much as we are. So, episode 1 was titled This Could Be a Real Adventure. First thing, I thoroughly enjoyed the opening text the series provided. It had an ominous tone to it. Second thing, the pirates attacking a ship that is protected by the New Republic straight up reminded me of A New Hope and the way that movie opened. Obviously, a little more goofy, but that's well intended. The third thing, Captain Silvo 100% is Jodnon Naywood, right? And I think we now have confirmation of that. Number 4, I, for one, love that Brutus character. I love the way he looks. I love the way that the character is being portrayed. 5, I love Wim and Neil's friendship. Like instantly as they are playing with those lightsabers, waiting on the bus, and then the kids on the other side are just kind of making fun of them. Oh, I mean, that's me as a kid right then and there. Absolutely adored that. The boys talking about okay, one critique, Zach,
Mm.
and maybe this will be because this is about halfway through my episode 1 notes. The boys talking about studying for matrices is the one thing that took me out, because if you don't know, people, I'm a math teacher, and I literally 2 weeks ago was teaching matrices to my students. So whenever I overheard them on the bus saying something about problem number 8, Matrix, and something like that. I'm like, oh, geez, okay. I don't really want to be thinking about that right now.
Oh, dude, I loved it. It made it
And
real
that's
to
a
me.
math teacher perspective.
Yeah. A little too close to home in the
Sure,
Star Wars galaxy,
sure.
but no, dude, I wanna say one thing, them fighting, like, where he just and immediately did
Uh-huh.
that, I was like, "I'm in." Like, "This is awesome."
And you
And he's
know
got
what?
his
I'm very interested, and this will probably be a discussion that we get to it later as well. How much is being filtered to these kids? Because how do they know about the Jedi, but they only know about 2 planets?
they don't
Anyway, we'll
even
get
know
there.
about Alderaan, like,
Yeah, I think Alderaan's one of the planets that they know of. One of 2.
that's what I mean, it's like,
It's
ah,
crazy. Oh, as
yeah, I
far as
don't know.
Alderaan blown up. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Fascinating,
Crazy,
fascinating.
crazy. Let's see. I mentioned I really get the vibes that something fishy is going on with the planet. At Aden is the planet's name, and every citizen is attempting to contribute to the great work. That gave me like Divergent or like one of those.
Just like, what's the word? What's that called when they, like, perfect world type,
Yeah,
you know
is it
Yeah,
dystopian?
dystopian, yeah, it's
Yeah,
exactly right.
yeah,
Dystopian, vibes of, like, this is all for the great work, and it's like
yeah.
almost like a culty thing, but not,
Agreed. Another on the nose thing for me was tomorrow's career assessment test because the acronym for that would be TCAT. And again, as an educator, that's too on the nose. That's a test that decides which path the children go on through their schooling. Again, very dystopian. Wim looking on a Neil's family. Okay, this was sad. Wim looking on a Neil's family as they were walking home made me really sad, and he had to go home to a completely empty house. So I'm wondering what happened to his mom.
Yeah,
Either she's gone mysteriously, maybe she's part also a secret of at Aden. Who knows? I
I
don't
got
think
a
so.
I
Or
got
maybe
a
she's
passed
just
away
dead.
vibe is
Yeah,
what I got
I think
there,
so. I think
but,
so. That's
like,
tough.
yeah, it's tough.
Uh,
That's a good moment.
Yeah, it is. Fern, the daughter of Farah, is a rebellious girl who is into racing. I would love to get like a pod racing episode one day for her. That'd be really fun. She goes as far as wearing her school uniform inside out, but she tries to fix it when she gets home. Wim misses the bus on assessment day and tries to ride a speeder bike. Shortcut comes across that Onyx Cinder. Fern and KB meet Wim and Neil at the site. They find their way into the ship. Wim presses buttons when he shouldn't, and suddenly they're off into space, and they are shocked when they get past the barrier and they see all these stars and planets, and that's the end of episode 1.
Dude, I shed a tear when the dad is seeing him leave. Dude, I legitimately cried a little bit. Like, because I just was thinking about, like, what would I do in this
Right.
situation? And I'm like, I can't imagine what that would feel like. There's nothing you can do. Your son is about to get blasted off into space, and it's just, whew,
Tough.
it hit me. It hit me.
It's
I was like,
tough.
oh, that's tough. But man, I love these. I love the kids. I love
Yeah.
the kids. I love Neil. I
I
love
think
Neil as much as I was hoping I would.
yeah, I think Neil is
Oh,
the big takeaway from episode 1. Really just all the
100
kids. Like all of the kids are doing a great job as far as performing.
for sure.
Thankfully, and I haven't been on social media a whole lot with this one, and that's intentional, but also just again because life's crazy. I haven't seen a lot of hate on the acting or anything like that, which is great to see.
Obviously,
Love
nothing but
that.
love about this show,
Yeah,
dude.
that's good. That's
Like,
good.
I don't know if I don't know if Elon's tweaking the algorithm or whatever, but like,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah. Elon confirmed
yeah,
loves
thank you for
Skeleton Crew.
making it more positive. I appreciate that. Galactic Cantina says maybe the mention of the Old Republic is the start of it getting recognized in canon. Maybe a door to future Old Republic projects. 100% agree with
Would
that.
love that.
100% agree. They say that saving lives or for droids feels odd, and maybe a connection to the world being hidden to the rest of the galaxy. Maybe I'm sure the dad is hiding something for Wim, or maybe from Wim. Yeah, potentially. I don't trust the dad. I got to throw that out there. Like,
Yeah, he was like
something
deep
is
in thought
off
too with this
about this
episode
planet.
3 opener. Deep in thought.
Yeah. Where he's like sitting there and he like takes like.
Which again, his kid's gone, so
I was gonna say
let's
maybe he's just distraught. But like I don't know. He keeps saying, "I gotta get to work. I gotta get to work. I gotta get to work." You're making me, not go to work. It's like,
yeah.
brother, relax. Star Wars Order says, "Hello there,
Hello
hello."
there. Hello there. Hello
Um,
there.
and
What
then
up, Star Wars
Anthony
Order?
on YouTube
Glad you're
says,
here.
"Caleb Zach, what up? I love
What
that
up?
Atatin is one of 9 unique planets in the
Oh,
galaxy that are known as the jewels of the Old Republic. I wonder how the
oh,
other 8 perished. Kim is cool.
yeah.
100% agree with all that.
Yeah, I
When you're
agree.
dropping this lore and knowledge on me,
Lore
I was just like,
heavy. Dude,
I
my
literally like
guy.
I stood up and I'm staying because we're about to do this show, and so I'm standing there watching it 6 inches from my TV, just like, "Oh,
Mm.
this is sick."
Yeah.
Dude,
I was
yeah,
shocked with the amount of lore that we got in episode 3. Because again, going into Skeleton Crew, I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting just lighthearted fun that's easily accessible for everybody.
I know, and that's what we talked about.
And I
It's like,
mean, bomb, bomb, bomb
well, I
as
was like,
far as
what
lore. And
is
I'm like,
going
come on, baby. Let's go.
exactly? They gave us nothing. It was just like it's going to be a kiddie show like the Goonies. It's like, what does that mean? That it's
Yeah,
got to have meat. This is the meat.
man. We
At
got
at
14 people watching us. What up, 14 people?
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out.
Like that's crazy that they are hooking me on something I didn't really even expect. This kind of treasure planet esque lost Goonie. Like, I don't know, dude. That's what I'm saying. The writing has been so good to me. So good. I
Yeah, I
love it so
agree.
much. Michelle says, I think Wim's dad went through whatever happened to Wim's mom, now losing
Mm,
Wim. It's making him think about what's really going on.
great,
Maybe. I
great
love that.
point.
I
Great
actually
point.
love that. Yeah, I definitely buy in on that.
And what up, Michelle? I haven't seen you in the chat a while. You're a long time listener. Appreciate you being here.
What up? Yeah. So man, I really loved episode 1, and then how it ended was great. Perfect to me. And
Oh
then
yeah, cliffhanger.
jumping into episode 2.
You know what it was very much reminded me of?
Mm,
Episode 1 of The Bad Batch, the way it ended.
that's a good
I
call.
think it
That's a great shout out.
they shot off into hyperspace
Call
like
that.
Omega was like all starry-eyed, like, yes, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
our kids in Skeleton Crew were
I love I love
so
that,
good,
dude.
man. So good.
Well, and
Every decision so far has been great, other than the
what's so
Matrix,
funny is like,
other than the
you know,
math.
they they're so worked up about all these things, but to us the viewers this is all so common,
Mm.
flying, jumping into hyperspace, it's all so normal, and so it's so funny watching them freak out. And so jumping into episode 2, I love the robot pirate dude.
Yeah.
Love
Oh yeah.
SM33
Yeah.
Smee.
Yeah.
Shout out
Let's
to me.
let's get into episode 2 then. Way out past the barrier. And Michelle said catching alive for a change instead of being asleep. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. um, again, we'll run through this super quick. The kids are suddenly knocked out of hyperspace, and SM-33 awakens as he is looking for his former captain. I'm dying to know more maybe about that former captain. Maybe that's coming one day soon. Fern wins SM-33 over by saying she killed the former captain, so she is now the captain of the ship in SM-33. SM-33 then provides an overview of how to operate the ship. The kids want to go back home on At-Atten, but SM-33 is unfamiliar with the planet, even though that is where he last was, which I found to be very interesting. Fern decides to have SM-33 fly them to the starport he had mentioned in hopes that someone there would get them home. Back on At-Atten, security droids are surprised to learn that Wim and a group of kids departed the planet on a starship, as those are not permitted to enter or leave the planet. Again, radar is going off when that dialogue is getting dropped. The crew arrives at Port Borgo, which for me, when I was watching it for the first time, screamed Star Wars version of Pirates of the Caribbean Tortuga.
100%. 100%.
Next up, the crew gets split up on Port Borgo, and the girls run into a woman who thinks they are joking when they mention At-Atten while the boys try to get some grub, which was the first oh, wait a minute. People think that like I thought that nobody knew what At-Atten was at all. But when this girl that ran into the girl kids on this port was like, no, seriously, where are y'all from? Like, I was like, oh, okay, hold on. What's
Yeah.
going on here? There's
Yeah.
just a lot of interesting stuff with At-Atten, folks.
Well,
Let's see. No,
even when
go
the
ahead.
little mouse dude gets his tip and he like freaks out and he goes, "Ah," I was like,
Yeah,
huh, okay. And
very
then it
intriguing.
comes to pay off here when he's with the big dude, and the big dude's like, oh, well, actually, it's, more credits than that.
Yeah,
This whole scene was great to me.
really is. Vane arrives. Of course, Vane is from The Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah.
And this is what you were talking about. Everyone's amazed by Wim's Old Republic credits. At-Atten is revealed to be believed as a myth, a lost treasure planet. As Vane holds a blaster to Fern, SM-33 arrives and starts punching some
Sick.
dudes and
It was sick,
dudettes and
dude.
pirates. And scoundrels, and it was
I love
awesome.
it.
SM-33 gets blasted down as Brutus and the other pirates approach them asking questions. How did they get our coordinates? How did they get past the cannons? The pirates then imprison the kids. They try to scheme a plan to get out and get back to the ship. And then, of course, our boy Jod Nah Naywood appears out of the shadows. And I'll put this in air quotations for podcast listeners, uses the force. I don't really know what's going on there still, to grab the key to break out of the brig. And that officially gets us caught up for this week's episode. But before we get to episode 3, thoughts on episode 2?
Loved it. Loved
Yeah.
it. I wanted more. I was like, oh, this is sick. This is so good. And so I immediately texted you and was like, yo, you watch these? You're like, no, I'm sick. I'm like, no. And so, yeah, dude, so happy to watch this. Avi says, Avi Aki, hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm the
Avi
15th
Aki,
person
what
from
up?
Dallas, Texas. Cheers. Hey, what up?
What up,
And Anthony, YouTube fan.
Dallas?
I'm wondering if Jod learned how to use the Force from his relative during the Clone Wars, and he learned later of their death, either by Droid the Purge or Inquisitorius. Because before that, he says, or they say, SolidWorks lore on tap, new lore. And have you heard on IMDb a secret character is a relative of Jod's, a Jedi? Jod's got it in the blood.
Huh?
I've not heard this.
I haven't either.
So that
Anthony's
sounds very
always got
interesting.
some good breakdown details to throw at us in the chat.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
He's got the word on the street. You know what I mean?
But see, I'm still questioning if he's got any force ability in him.
The only thing is the light switch thing. How do you do the light?
The light switch.
When you turn the light off on the kid, and she's like, "Oh yeah, are you a Jedi?" And he's like, and he turns the lights off.
Which episode was that in? I'm blanking on it.
Late episode 3, right at the end.
It was this one.
Yeah. But yeah, so overall, loved episode 2. Smee is amazing at SM-33. Smee, shout out Peter Pan. Like I just loved everything about this. The whole captain aspect, the kids not knowing what they're doing, they're splitting up, they get locked up. Jod's in there. Why does Jod wait this long to get out? Nobody knows.
Waiting on a moment.
Like, dude, it's just so good. And Galactic says light switch is probably a force push. Michelle says a remote. That's exactly what I was going to say. Did he have a remote in his hand and just like, whoop,
what was it? Haja from Obi-Wan Kenobi.
See, and that makes me mad. I hope that's not the case.
Yeah, because that was one of the things I didn't like about that show. That was the one of the things I didn't like.
I hated that as well. And I love Kenobi, and I hated that. And Anthony says, now considering how sheltered At-Aten is, did anybody from the Empire know of its existence? Also, did the Neil, I don't know what the Neil is. I'm sorry.
That's deep stuff.
Know about the planet 239 years prior to this new story? I have no comment.
I will say this, Anthony. I don't think anybody knows about this planet personally. I mean, other than
like she said, the children's stories and the
right. Like
tales.
Because if the Empire knew about this place and it's truly wealthy, they 100% would have shown up and gotten all
they
that.
Would have found it. I agree. Yeah, they would have found this place.
But I could also see them having the ego of, we're not interested in myths.
We don't listen to the Mother Goose stories, whatever.
Yeah, I'm
hoping At-Aten has been hidden for like 1,000 years.
Yeah, I'm hoping At-Aten's been like gone, quote, gone since like the Old Republic. Like that would be really cool.
I was gonna say I think that's the case. Like I want to know why. I know we're jumping ahead, so let's back up. I want to know why they're gone. First off, like, why are the other ones gone and that survived? But going back to kind of the beginning of episode 3, do you want to jump off there? Since you want to start,
we can do it.
1 and 2, amazing, loved it,
yes.
Locked me in, way better than I thought it would be. What about
Agreed.
you?
Oh, episode 2. Episode 2 was again like after episode 1, I'm like, okay, yeah, this show is delivering on its promise. Episode 2 happens, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you got me. Yeah, I'm loving this. So I mean, they made a great decision of dropping both of those week 1.
Yeah.
Because I think it was very important. If they had just done episode 1 and you get 0 Jod in episode 1, that I feel like that would have been bad because they marketed that dude heavily.
Yeah. And Michelle says the Empire wouldn't just allow kids to have Jedi books, especially showing Jedi as heroes. Yeah, I agree.
100%. Because they only have that one, Jedi or our
Well, in
guardians
the
of
old
peace.
republic, they were.
Right.
They were actually, people. We saw them all die in what's it called? Acolyte.
Oh yeah, that show.
Were they
Mm.
old republic?
Acolyte. That was
No,
technically
no,
the
that's right.
High
They're High
Republic,
Republic.
and
My
that's
bad.
what Anthony was referring to. The Nile, the Neil. I don't even know how to necessarily say
Mm.
it because I believe those villains are around during the High Republic era, and I haven't read any of those novels, but I'm aware of them.
And
I'm aware of
Anthony
them.
says that Star Wars Channel actually translated all the stories in Wim's ebook. Interesting
Ooh.
additional lore explaining their love for the Jedi. It makes sense. Again, Old Republic. That's when the Jedi were like actually, what we think they were, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that's very fascinating that they would drop that. So how does episode 3 even start? I just watched it. I don't even remember.
Let's get into it, man. Let's get
Oh
into it.
yeah,
Perfect,
yeah. They're in
perfect
the
little segue.
they're in the jail cell, right?
No, no, no. We're at Atten with the
Oh, you're
parents.
right. You're right. So the
Stress.
parents, with the
Yeah.
parents. Right.
So episode 3 is titled "Very Interesting," as in astrogration. Did I say that right? Astrogration problem. I don't
Sure.
know. But first scene at Atten. We're on at Atten. The parents of the children are discussing the disappearance of them. The droid reports that the supervisor will not okay a search and rescue for the kids since they are outside of the barrier illegally. Wim's dad asks if they can request aid from the Republic. Farah requests an immediate audience with the supervisor. Obviously, my first question goes to is who the heck is this supervisor?
Yeah, what is that? Is that like the
Ooh.
supervisor of the planet or the school? What are we
I
looking at
I
here?
think it's got to be a supervisor of the planet, right?
Gotta be.
Right?
That's what I was thinking.
I think this is top dog. In my mind, like Farah is like the one that's making sure the school's good, and even Farah's having to request time with this supervisor. Like this. I
Yeah,
hope this is like a big reveal down the line.
I don't think
And
it
I'm not
will.
saying it has to be a character that we know. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying I just hope it's a big reveal later in this season of, well, who is this supervisor? You
Hmm.
don't think it's going to be relevant?
Oh no, I think it'll be relevant. I don't think it's gonna be a
Okay.
big reveal. It's just like, oh, hey, this is the
No, this
supervisor.
is
It's gonna be like Bob down the
this is the
street.
girl or the guy. This
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's fine.
yeah.
Whatever.
Like, let's go meet with the supervisor, and Darth Plagueis comes out. You know what I mean? Like that. That's not happening.
Darth Plagueis is going to be hiding behind a tree on that.
Yeah, no, he's just at the desk. Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. We'll see him in season 2 or 3 or whatever they said.
No, we can't do this. We're not bringing it up, Zach. We're not. We've been down that road. We're done. Let's
You're
go.
right. Yeah, we're happy because this show's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, no, this moment here, I liked seeing all the parents. It makes complete sense because I was kind of wondering, like, like, is this going to be kind of a B plot? 100% going to be a B plot, which makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I like that.
And I like the dynamic of the families there because you can already tell the like rich lady or whatever, she's kind of like trying to tell everyone what to do and she's walking around and stuff. And then you've got the dad kind of like distraught in the corner. Then you got Neil's mom or dad, I'm not sure, or whatever however it works with that. And they're quiet, not saying anything. Like those little dynamics were so clear to me already. I was like, all right, that's perfect. And then the droid comes in. And what's so funny to me is like everything about this planet, they are like obsessed with droids.
Oh
Am I
yeah.
crazy in that? Like everything's a droid in
Oh
this
yeah. I
world.
mean, and it's like they're extremely respected, and I mean they're like the authoritative
Yeah,
be-
100%. They're like
beings
the
on the
police.
planet. Yeah, it's
Um, it,
very
it's
interesting.
it's very interesting to me. They're
It's
also,
like
like you said, so like clean and put together and have a lot of like power in terms of like authority.
you know what? And maybe this is just me being super crazy. It almost is like giving me TVA vibes, and like
Hmm.
there's almost like
Hmm.
this Kang the Conqueror behind the scenes at
Yes,
this place.
100%.
It's
100%.
crazy. It's
Yeah, I
crazy.
agree. Like, I just think that's an interesting thing because I was watching that and she's like, a safety droid's never not found me or whatever. And they
Mhm.
they technically did their job. They found them. They just
Right. Yeah, we're not
found that they
going after
left.
them. They
You know what I
gone.
mean?
They can't come
They
back.
gone.
No ships come in or go out. Sorry.
Well,
But I
one
think
did.
we're gonna see that meeting between Farah and the supervisor, or they're just gonna make the decision, "Nah, we're going out on our own then." That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be
I
cool.
don't know what's going to shake
One
out.
big thing that maybe big, maybe not. Did you catch KB's parents saying that they were struggling to read her life monitor in this
Yep.
scene? What's up
Yep.
with that? Does
I
she
assume
have
that's this thing.
KB have like a medical issue going on or something?
No, I just assumed she's like half robot or whatever.
Okay.
She's this little
Okay.
thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm following.
At first, I thought she was like a cyborg type person until she flipped it up, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
she's
no,
like a human.
it's very similar to the guy in Empire Strikes Back that's with Lando. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Brother, I don't know.
Come on, man. Come
I
on.
think I actually do remember that cat. I do
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that because
yeah.
he's got the big ear things, right?
Yes, it's 100% the
Yeah,
same thing. Yeah.
yeah, I remember him. Shout out Empire.
All right,
Uh,
so we leave at Aden. Let's go on to Borgo.
mhm.
Borgo. Jod is breaking the children out, and of course, Wim and Neil are quick to believe his every word in action. And at this moment, I'm still thinking to myself, and this is what my note says: I can't tell if Jod is legitimately force sensitive or not.
Mm,
I still think that's up in the air, personally.
mhm, mhm.
But let's continue. The crew makes it back quickly to the Onyx Cinder, but they talk Jod into going back to save SM-33 since he is a Jedi, where again he responds by saying, yes, of course, in a weird way.
He
One
doesn't even
thing,
say yes. He just says, "Of
oh,
course."
does he? Does he? Okay, okay. One thing that I found interesting was the fact, and maybe you feel off about this, maybe not. I'd love to hear what you or the chat has to say. I found it interesting that we got like they go out into the crowd and then suddenly they're on the ship. Like we don't even see them interact with getting through the crowd. Like did they have to
We
hit
saw it for a moment.
somebody? A little bit, but
We
like
saw
they had
Neil,
just
like, you know,
they had just walked out there, and and then they zoom out to show that they've got this kind of big little area to get across, and then suddenly they're just on one of those pods.
hmm.
You know,
It didn't bother me at all because
didn't
I didn't
bother
care.
you.
I was
Okay,
like,
good.
let's get the show rolling, I think
Yeah,
is what
I
I
mean,
was
it didn't
thinking.
bother me at all either. Personally, I was just curious if that was something that maybe because I mean, Fern literally to explain it literally says that was easier than expected or easier than it should have been or
Yeah.
something like that. And Galactic
I think he
Cantina
just said
comes in
that to,
clutch.
like,
Lobot was that dude's name in
oh, he had a name,
Empire
Lobot.
Strike. Yeah,
I got
of
you.
course he dude. Every Star
I
Wars
should have
character
known
has a
that.
name. Come on,
You get a half millisecond in the back corner. That's Bob
100%,
from Sector Parsec
100%.
48
That's
or
why
whatever.
every Star Wars fan has a belief that one day.
Lobot that's a wild pull, Galactic. I'm so happy you said that. Thank you
Not
for
wild
that.
at all, Galactic. I
No,
appreciate
no,
it.
no. Wild as in like impressive. That's what I
Okay,
mean.
okay, okay.
Like that's good. No, I didn't bother me at all. I'm happy to keep rolling here. I loved the moment when they're in the ship. I'm so surprised that Jod would like do this and like go back to get Smee. Like why would he not just bark the kids and go on? But the reason is because he can't. They hold
Mm,
the knowledge. They hold
right.
that this is good storytelling, everybody. I can't loophole this thing out of here. Like there's no other justification because in my mind I'm like, if he's this bad, he just kill the kids and take the ship.
Yeah.
Wrong. Then he can't get to Ad-Atten.
Right.
And so
Yeah,
it's like, God, it's so good, man. It's so good.
it is. You can tell John Watts is doing this thing, man.
100%, dude.
And
It's forward.
Christopher Ford,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
bravo. Just incredible
Bravo.
stuff.
It
Incredible.
shows when you have a filmmaker, a storyteller who's actually show running the show.
Mhm.
It shows. It really
It does.
does.
It does. Back in the port, the pirates are freaking out because Silvo has escaped from the brig. Jod finds SM-33 in a room full of power droids that I am sure there are Easter eggs galore. I mean, I'm pretty sure I heard a separatist droid saying, "Did we win?" And I'm assuming that's in relation to maybe like the Clone Wars somehow.
Oh,
That'd
brother,
be
that was
so
one
cool.
of those like Phantom Menace droids,
Yeah,
right?
that'd be so cool. And
Because he said, "Did we win?" That's
I
100%.
100% believe that one of the other droids probably connects to like an episode of Clone Wars or Rebels or
Like the
something.
first one he touched that like leaned up. That's
Right,
like from like I said, from this moment,
right,
minute 48 from New Hope or whatever.
right.
You know,
Gotta be.
gotta be.
Because you can tell that this show is very detail oriented. They're doing stuff like that, folks.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah.
100%. Let's see. I thought it was an interesting note here. It seems like and maybe this is just me, seems like Jod hates droids
He
while
hates
while
them,
he's
brother.
searching.
Everybody who is a main character in the Star Wars universe, you gotta hate a droid.
Yeah,
You have
I mean, the last one notably, obviously, is our boy Din Djarin.
yeah, hates a droid. Like, just hate droids. That's it.
until IG-11 clutch.
I'd love to know why he hates droids. Maybe it's because of everything that's went down with droids. Um, I don't know,
Maybe,
but
May-
interesting. Yes,
maybe
he
we'll,
hates droids as well. Can't trust a
maybe it'll
droid,
be
whatever he
something
says.
that we learn down the line. Who knows?
Yeah.
Binjar Pranik stumbles upon Jod and begins to threaten that he needs to report his escape to Captain Brutus, even though Jod believes these kids are his ticket to a real big score. And I saw this. You'll never believe, maybe, and I hope this is right because I'm about to say it. You'll never believe who voiced Binjar Pranik. Do you
I
know?
will believe it because
Okay.
I knew who it was immediately.
Okay. Who was it?
Um, it is the dude who plays the Horvath character in Magician's Friend or something in Disney. Another way to say it, it's motherfreaking Doc Ock
Okay.
is
There
the
we go.
voice of that cat.
You lost
Um,
me in the first half, but you, you got me back.
yeah, man. I immediately was like, I know that voice. So I Googled it. I didn't just know it off the top. I
Okay.
Googled it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, no, Doc Ock is the voice of this dude from Spider-Man 2. Let's go.
Oh gosh, that's good.
Yeah.
Anthony,
He's
fun
also the
fact.
voice of Elsa and Anna's father in Frozen 2. Another fun
Really?
fact. I don't know why I know so much about this dude, but
I think you're a diehard Alfred Molina fan.
yeah, I guess I am.
Anthony says, fun fact, supposedly Kim is of a species that was originally created for the Clone Wars, but the species ended up on the cutting room floor. I'll bet Filoni threw that back in. Oh, if that's true, 100%.
It looks very Filoni to me.
Yeah, it
Dude
does.
loves an owl, doesn't he? Like I know we're jumping
Fair.
ahead, but Kim's sick, dude. I love
Oh, I
the
love
character and
Kim.
design of Kim, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we will. Let's see. Jod is escaping pirates while the kids debate what to do regarding Jod. Jod makes it onto the Onyx Cinder. The ship is stuck on the fuel line. Jod causes a mess as part ships begin crashing into each other. Just as the cannons are beginning to fire on the ship blasts into hyperspace. Brutus is angry and wants a bounty put on Jod and the kids' head. So definitely not done with Brutus. Definitely not done with Steve Urkel and the rest. Hopefully not done with Vane. So we'll definitely see the Pirates down the line.
I kind of hate Vane, dude. I kind of don't like Vane at
He's.
all.
I was thinking in my head to say I would like to see him do something legit.
I kind of don't like that character at all. I'm way more interested in the wolf dude.
Yeah, Brutus is a lot more cool.
Like,
A
come
lot
on.
more. I will say this, and again, it's lighthearted, so it's not a serious critique. It was weird, a little goofy to me, of how long it took those pirates that were right behind Jod in the pod to like start attacking the Onyx Cinder ship, because it takes a minute for him to get detached from that fuel line. You probably didn't even think about
Didn't.
it,
I was just like
which
this.
is fine.
I was just staring, smiling.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And first watch, I didn't notice it. This was on a second watch that I noticed. Man, it's
Yeah.
really taking them a long time to like start and attack this thing. Like, what are we
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah.
but it's Skeleton Group, baby. That's
Well, it's
fine.
like Tortuga. I mean, these guys,
Yeah, it's Tortuga.
it's not a military base.
They've probably had too much spotchka.
Yeah, well, yeah. Also, like, yeah, they just, I don't know. I didn't even think about it. I did think like the whole time I was thinking, why is he doing this? But then again, it goes back to the kids are making him do this because
Sure.
he has to do it to get their help. Like, it's a weird dynamic.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that he did. I'm happy they got SM33 back, by the way, because I feel like the kids have at least a barrier of protection. You know what I mean?
SM33 is a perfect droid for this show.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's even there's a moment that we're about to come to that I laughed out loud at. Loved it. Okay, let's keep going. While Jod is looking around, here's the moment. While Jod is looking around, he takes a knife, and SM33 has a standoff with him. Jod questions if the kids are really from At Adden. It's the part where he's like, does he go like, A or?
Yeah, he goes, I,
A.
pirate.
And then he goes into another room, and then he peeks back around the corner. I.
I knew that was the moment. I knew that.
It
Yeah,
was
dude.
so funny to me. I don't know why.
I just love that they do so good with this. Like the droids have so much emotion without having any
Yeah.
sort of
Well,
facial
and then
features.
later, whenever the kids are finally like confronting Jod, like at the very end of the episode,
Mm.
and he's like standing on the ramp up to the ship, and they're like, "Tell us the truth. Who are you?" Like all this stuff, and like he's holding this like lighter, and he lights it up as Jod looks up at him.
Oh,
Like
it's so good.
perfect,
That's what I mean. Like I feel
perfect.
like the kids even at the spaceport, like it made it more believable than these kids being able to just survive. No, they don't just survive. They have this thing that's like kind of brainwashed at this point and is going to protect them because he's a loyal crew member.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love SM-33.
Yeah,
But yeah,
me
this
too.
moment was great when he stands up and Jod's like, "Whoa, chill, 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 chill."
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Anthony in the chat, by the way, how gorgeous did that moon observatory look set against the backdrop of that planet in the distance? Those X-Wings looked beautiful. How long before we see Carson, Zeb, Reed, Omega, Hera? I'm going to have a thought on that, Anthony. So I'll
oh,
hold
I'm
off
gonna
on
have a
answering
thought
that
on it as
question.
well.
But yes, the planet behind the moon looked great. I loved the way that looked. Sometimes you could tell it was
Let's
volume,
just
but
answer it, brother,
it
because I
looked
gotta get this
great.
off my head.
Oh,
Because
dude. Okay, let's answer it. Let's
first
answer it.
thing I thought was, this is vomiting volume to me.
Okay.
I this is so clearly the volume that it
Yeah.
makes me want to puke.
So
Like that's
this
all I
was a
could think
moment you
about.
didn't like then.
So that's the weird thing. I agree with Anthony.
You
The
s
planet was dope. Like
Yeah, it
it would
was.
look so cool with them walking with their silhouettes and
That's our
stuff.
thumbnail, I
That was
think.
just that's what I mean. Like the cinematography and the shot was incredible. It's just something is off
Mm,
now.
mm.
Something in my brain has switched to not liking the volume anymore for some reason. So when I
I
see it, I go, oof.
I think the first show that made me start to not like the volume was Kenobi, personally.
Yeah.
Just
Mine was
because there
House
were
of the Dragon. I gotta throw a shout
Ooh,
to
there you
House of the
go.
Dragon
Okay.
because it's so obvious to me
It's so
that it's
obvious
the
when it
volume.
happens now.
And then it's so obvious when it's real because this
Yeah,
last season they did it real,
that's fair.
most of it. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I can tell. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand they can't go fly to the moon and get the thing.
Right.
However, I'm being like a grumpy old man with this. I
Yeah, you are.
understand. But it's just so blatantly obvious to me that it's not that it's the volume. And I'm just like, oof.
Sure.
But now that I've said all that, got it off my chest,
Yeah.
loved everything about
Okay,
this.
good.
So
Good.
we'll get, we're almost there. We're almost there.
Yeah, but we'll definitely talk about the excuse me, we'll talk about the characters that you just mentioned there,
And
Anthony.
Anthony says Brutus demanded bounty hunters. Love that moment where he's like, put a bounty on his head because that's exactly
Right.
what they would do in this world.
Right.
Love
Now,
it.
Anthony, I don't personally expect any, bounty hunters per se. I think it's really just gonna be the pirates going after him. Like I think the pirates are gonna try to collect that bounty. But we shall see. We shall see. All right, let's see. Where we at? Where we at? The kids are clueless to a great treasure on at Atten, but Neil asks if it has anything to do with the great work. That is a great question, young man. Great question. Because that literally, I kid you not, when Neil asked that question, for some reason, it was one of those moments where I was literally thinking of that question as he asked it. So that was very satisfying as I was watching.
Well, that's the second time that's happened because I thought, well, they got through that easily. And she says, oh, we got through that easily.
Yeah,
It's like, they
yeah,
know, they know.
yeah, they do. They do. All the kids fall asleep except KB as she questions Jod on the legitimacy of him being a Jedi. I thought that was a very cool moment.
Awesome moment, dude.
Uh, Next up, Jod and company arrive on the moon where his friend is that could help them make it back home. Jod shares that he doesn't fully trust her as it sounds like she is in cahoots with someone. This friend refers to Jod as Crimson Jack. The friend's name is Kim, which of course is the owl that we have previously discussed. But I think it's important to note that this is now the third name that Jod is being mentioned as. Jod, Jack, and Silvo.
Yes, Silvo. I think that's right.
And
Because
I
that's
would
when he comes in,
expect,
he's like, oh, they let you out, Silvo, or whatever.
yeah, I would expect maybe more names. the rest of this season, because I think prior to the show coming out, I think Jude Law mentioned this is a character that goes by many names.
Yeah,
So
makes sense.
very interested to see what's going on there. Fern is surprised to learn that there is more than 1,000 different worlds. Again, more evidence that these kids are clueless about the rest of the galaxy. Kim reveals that, and this is where the lore really starts hitting. Kim reveals that At-Aten has been hidden from the rest of the galaxy as other planets of wonders were kept hidden for their protection during the Old Republic. So all of these planets haven't been seen since maybe even before the Old Republic, which is wild. At-Aten made up one of the planets referred to as, quote, the jewels of the Old Republic. All of those planets are said to be destroyed except At-Aten. And my mind goes to, well, why were the rest destroyed? People?
Who destroyed it? Why were they destroyed? Immediately ask
So
that question.
let's talk about that. Um,
I
do you,
have absolutely no idea. I am so out of my element in the Old Republic, my guy.
I mean, yeah, I mean, me too. Because I think everything from the Old Republic at this point has been kind of established as, quote, legends. So it's really all fair game. Honestly, like it's wide open.
What I think of is like a Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great situation, where maybe you had an empire trying to rise up, or maybe not an emperor, but like a president or whatever you want to call him, and maybe he destroyed. I'm thinking of like the 7 wonders of the world, right? Or
Sure.
9
Yeah.
wonders, or however many we're up to these days. I don't actually remember, but like that's what I was thinking of. Because if you think about it in our world, it would be just like galaxy level wonders of the galaxy,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have no reason why you would destroy the wonders of your galaxy, though. That's
Right.
what I don't know.
And I
I really
still
don't know.
question why hide the planet to begin with. Like what's going on? Um,
That's
there's
what I
so many
mean. That's what I
questions.
mean. Why were they hiding them? Maybe they were hiding them from something like that.
Yeah.
And
And
the
there's
ones that
deep
freaked out were
analysis going on with that map online, of the map that Kim lays
oh,
out,
I'm
of like
sure it's
the
been out for like
images like toward the
12 hours.
side
I'm
of
sure
like
people
those
like on
planets.
Reddit. When she
Like I
rolls it
think,
out, oh yeah.
yeah, there's like a mural of like these people, like almost like ceremoniously like
Like
celebrating
praising it or something.
or praising something. And then it's almost like you could see like an iteration of that mural in that opening scene where the parents are on At-Aten in the background.
That would make sense. That would make sense.
So
Man.
all this stuff, I say all this to say all of this what seems like small details, I think is really going to pay off.
Brother, Ed, though, no, these are big. This is big details. Like this
Well, yeah,
entire
I mean, yeah. To us,
I
yes, at
love
100%.
I love the idea that we haven't really dove into this kind of astronomy aspect
Mm.
of Star Wars. They kind of always just know where to go. And this fact that like she is like a star
Oh
charter
yeah, that
is
was
so
cool.
fascinating.
That was
Dude,
cool.
that's so cool. Where it's like a Hubble, kind of space telescope
Mhm.
thing that she's living in. And, she, or I assume it's a she, like, I think the owl was sick. Going back to Galactic Cantina's point,
Mhm.
I think the owl was awesome.
Cool.
She was
Very cool.
amazing. The puppet was amazing. The CG was amazing. It fooled me. It's like the reverse of the volume thing, where like, dude, I think she looked amazing.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
the twist coming up here, awesome.
Yeah, 100%. Anthony's dropping some knowledge in the chat, so let's hit that before we get to the twist. Caleb, in the High Republic, Chancellor Lin So created a series of great works that connect the galaxy together, the Outer Rim. The Starlight Beacon is the crowning achievement of those works. I've heard of stuff around the Starlight Beacon, and like I've seen images of the Starlight Beacon being destroyed. I don't know how to piece it all together, Anthony, but it sounds like, as far as like that concept of creating a series of great works, that's interesting, because that is something that At-Aten is trying to contribute to, is the great work. So that may be something that you're onto. But I don't know if this show is going to be addressing the High Republic. Because remember, it's very important. John Watts is on record saying this show is accessible to all fans. regardless of what
Well, who's
level.
to say the High Republic didn't get it from the Old Republic? I don't know.
That's fair.
Like,
That's
oh,
fair.
they did this in the Old Republic. We're gonna do this in the High Republic, kind of a
That's
thing.
fair. Again, more stuff to dissect. Okay, next up.
Kim referring to the Republic era, the
Oh,
Proto Republic
did
era.
something just come in from Anthony? I think it's
Anthony
something that
says
we're.
Kim Kim referred to the Proto Republic era.
Oh,
Fascinating. I
oh
don't even know.
yes,
I didn't even think I had
yes.
a pick up on that.
I meant to Google search that, so I think that's one of the things that we're about to get to. So we'll definitely hit that. I need to do some research on the Proto Republic era here real quickly. But let's see. The kids reveal in school they learn only about Coruscant and Alderaan, but don't know about the war that just occurred throughout the galaxy. And the kids confirm that part of the great work is to stay inside the barrier. Again, that immediately makes me think, what are they like? Why are we filtering what they're learning about? Gosh, I'm so intrigued. So intrigued.
Are they even filtering? Like, are they truly cut off? Do they
Hmm,
not know?
I don't think they.
I'm
Well, I
sure
think.
they're filtering. I'm sure they have some sort. Someone has knowledge of the outside world on this planet.
I mean, yeah, the supervisor, 100%.
Yeah,
Maybe Fur or Farah, right?
I don't know. Yeah, the mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just like all the only the kids know about like the big stuff, you know?
Well, I
Uh,
mean, to be honest, like if you asked, a first or second or fifth grade or whatever these grade these kids are in, they know Earth, they know
mhm.
Mars, but they might not know Pluto and Uranus. And
Fair. Fair.
I don't mean to say that like you're wrong. I'm saying just to
Yeah,
think
no, no, no,
about
no. I'm following. Yeah,
why
no,
they would
no, you're
only
good.
know
100%.
these
Yeah, I
things.
got
It's
you.
interesting.
It is. It is very interesting. Okay. Kim
I gotta
uses the
say before we move on,
okay.
the girl with it just made me think of it. The girl with the little thing, the little smart girl, dude, she's
uh
growing on me. I'm
KB.
loving. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm loving
originally she was probably like the least interesting of the group, but
100%.
yeah, no, they're all even for me at this point.
It's made me so happy to see her get these moments of kind of shining through. I just think it's fascinating that each character is they're almost all on like a level playing field of my love, with Neil barely tipping above just because he's so darn cute.
Yeah, that's fair. I would say I'm probably right. Like Neil's probably my favorite
Mm.
just because of that fact. But yeah, they're all very, very awesome. Kim uses the Paul Marish numerals on Fern's jacket, which she has never seen used in Proto Republic artifacts, to help narrow the search. That was a very intriguing moment, in my opinion. Again, lore heavy that leads
Mhm.
to tons of Wikipedia searches and dissecting of the Paul Marish numerals and stuff like that.
People on Reddit right now are just like just eating.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jod catches on that Kim is stalling to have him caught. She has called X-Wings to take him on. She shares to the kids that he is just a scoundrel and to not trust him. Jod pushes Kim down after attempting to shoot her. Kids, why are we trusting this dude at this point? What are we doing? But during all that, he grabs the coordinates to what is believed to be at Atten. KB checks on Kim before she leaves, saying she doesn't trust him, but doesn't have a choice currently. The only thing I'll add to this that I didn't put out is I think it's safe to say, though, that surely Kim is able to reproduce those coordinates just based on the conversation they had just had. So, Jod, I don't think you safely got away, my boy.
You gotta believe that this thing that's populating this is saving it somewhere, especially knowing she's like a star charter. I don't even know.
Right. Yeah, and it's very interesting that she's in cahoots with the New Republic. I think that's our segue into the
Also, she may just
Mandoverse.
want to get the Crimson Jack. She don't care
That's true.
about
That's true.
she
She
don't care about
doesn't care
Ad and
about
stuff.
like the greater good of the galaxy. She just cares about
She
yeah,
just hates Crimson Jack.
right, right.
Yeah.
As the Republic X-wings are flying overhead, Fern demands that Jod shares who he is, or they aren't going anywhere. He declares he never really said that he was a Jedi, that he is just like them and wants to get them home, assumingly for his own selfish reasons. Of course, that would be the treasure. The kids and Jod come to a deal that he works for them to get back to Atten. Neil takes over the flying of the ship. Of course, that's the funny moment that we got from the trailers. After Jod turns off the X-Wings trying to communicate with him, Wim and Fern fire on the X-Wings, which was a really cool moment because they were eating it up. They were arguing about who hit the
It's
X-Wing.
just so good, dude.
So good.
The
They're
moment
writing it
that
so good.
the moment he says, "All right, get in" or whatever, and Wim, it just like cracks a smile. Oh, it's so good. Because in my head, I'm like, "You're shooting at the police." By the way, just want to throw that
Yeah, pretty
into the
much.
universe.
Yeah. And they don't know it. They're just, yeah.
However, like what a good moment. And talking about CGI, the moment I'm a sucker for the ship shots. So
Yeah.
it's like the reverse of what I'm talking about on the planet for the volume for this as well. Like the ship shots in the volume are always incredible.
Mhm.
And this moment where he comes up and he is just grinning and you see him behind him.
Yeah.
Oh, so good, dude.
And I love the differences in Fern and Wim. Like Wim, as soon as he came up, he just started spraying.
Oh, yeah, just I
And
was so
Fern's like
good.
trying to be tactical, but Wim's just going to
Just
town.
having fun. Just
I would have been Wim. I would 100% would have been
yeah,
Wim.
yeah, I think so too. And then they hit, like you said, they hit him, and then they're like, "I got him." No, I.
No,
It's
that
like,
was me.
oh, it's so good, man.
Man, I
So
love
good.
the banter between Wim and Fern. It's so like brother sister like.
And the kids are so good, man. The
Yeah,
acting of the kids is so good.
it is.
Specifically, Wim here, like just the because remember he's looking at like nothing,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
so it's
I'm
like
now that I've seen them in action, we've got to get these kids to
Mando
unite
Grogu.
with
Got
Grogu.
to.
We've
It's
got
gonna
to see
happen,
these
brother.
kids with
It's
Baby
going to
Yoda.
happen. It's
They're
going
they're
to
too
happen.
good, man. Too good.
Too good.
Okay. Wim and Fern fire on that. Well, I already hit that. They finally clear to a safe area to jump into hyperspace. The X-Wing pilot questions where they are headed, and Kim says, "If I told you, you wouldn't believe me." And that is the end of the episode. But I must say, back to what Anthony was mentioning earlier about characters showing up, like Carson, Hera,
Yeah.
Omega, all the different characters that are working
Mhm.
for the New Republic at this time. I 1000% believed because the way that they shot this thing, they were being like secretive about who
They
this X-Wing
knew.
pilot was. I 1000% believed that it was going to be Carson Teva. I didn't even
How
question
is it
it.
not Carson freaking Teva right there?
I feel like it should have been, man. It
It
should have
should
been.
have been,
But I
dude.
think that he's busy with. I think he's in the Mando Grogu movie, and they can't like
Also, I gotta
use
say,
it.
like, I'm glad it's not because
Yes,
I think that's a little in
convenient.
your face. Like,
Too
why would
convenient.
he be at this specific spot in this specific moment? So I think it's a better call to not be him. But my gosh, man, the way they shot it, they're creeping around the cockpit, and I'm like,
Right.
okay, Carson. Oh no, it's some random dude I've never
Some
seen
dude.
before. And I loved it, man. I loved it. So, all right, in this moment do the Republic know about the kids? Like the kids are lost. Because the way he says it, he's like, I didn't want to hurt the kids.
Well,
Or-
I don't think that they know that they're lost. I think that they just know that they're kids because
Kids on board.
right, because Kim mentions
Gotcha.
as Crimson Jack is walking up, she's like, and he's got kids with him.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. Because
So
immediately I was like, wait. Does the Republic know about like the kids being lost?
no,
Maybe they sent
I
out
don't think
this.
that they're aware of the Atten or the lost kids
Okay.
scenario
Okay. You're
yet.
probably right. That makes a lot of
So
sense.
I'm not firing on this thing because there's kids on board.
Like Crimson Jack has kidnapped these kids essentially, and so I can't blow up the ship. And that's
Right.
why they were like shooting the stun bolts, not the blow it away
Right.
bolts.
Right.
Again, the writing, brother. The
Dude,
writing.
everything's got a reason.
It all makes sense. Oh my goodness. First time in 48 years. It all makes sense. They actually have reasons for doing these things. Gosh, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm loving Skeleton Crew.
Gosh, man, so good. And Michelle says, in Major Tom's song Star Wars put out in Huttese, At-Aten translates to the word Earth, not meaning our Earth, just Earth in general.
Do what?
That's what
Waka
Michelle said.
rewind. What?
Michelle says, hey, this thing that Major Tom in Huttese At-Aten translate to the word Earth from the original song lyrics, not
You're
meaning our Earth.
telling me that the Atten was in the song in the trailer, and we just didn't hear it or catch it?
That's what Michelle's saying. I'm not sure. And Anthony says, yes, the mural almost looks like a representation of the charter of At-Aten. It also explains why the kids refer to the beings on Port Borgo as aliens. Kim and Maz Kanata, please. Yeah, I
Ooh,
thought
that
of
would be
Maz too, dude.
that'd be a
I
cool
thought of
duo.
Maz. I love Maz so much.
And I had to rewatch a scene. I think it was episode 2, maybe no, episode 3. It was episode 3. It was this one. I had to rewatch a scene 2 to 3 times because it looked like the Conja Club from The Force Awakens was in the crowd. Maz Kanata made me think of
The
episode 7.
Conja Club? What's
Yeah,
that
you
again?
remember whenever Han Solo's with the Rathtars and he's like, I never made a deal with Conja Club.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they walk
Okay.
in.
Yeah. I know
And they're
exactly.
like, Han Solo.
Yeah. The absolute worst moment in the whole movie. Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember
that's
that.
the one. That's probably the weakest point of The Force Awakens.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But I
Michelle
love
said
that movie.
they did a full video of the song.
Oh, okay.
Michelle, I
I
need
didn't
you
see
to
that.
like send this video of the full song to me somehow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Twitter,
maybe. Yeah.
maybe,
I don't know. But cool.
or
That's
or drop
amazing.
a link in the comments. You could do that
Amazing.
too.
So what happens next? I actually forget after they show who's not Carson, whoever that person is.
The Kim just turns around slowly and says, "If I told you, you wouldn't
Oh
believe
yeah. You
me."
wouldn't believe me.
End
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
end of
That's
episode.
good.
Good cliffhanger yet again.
Ah, what
Because
a
I am
good
dying to
show,
know
man.
how the New Republic's getting involved.
What a good
Because
show.
they got to at this point. They got to get involved, right? Don't you think?
I don't know, man.
We have plenty of stuff from the trailers that we haven't seen yet.
They have to. They
I
have
know
to.
that there's a couple of scenes in the trailers of X-wings flying that we haven't seen yet.
Well, just because they have made it a point to say this is in the Mandoverse, they're getting involved. You know what I mean? Like
Favreau, Filoni, executive producers, they're getting
they're
involved.
somehow. So it's like, how do we? I don't know. I hate saying this, and I don't want to say it actually, but I'm going to.
Uh-oh. Do do do
I
do do
I
do.
yeah I trust they're gonna find a way, but he's getting involved. Mando's getting involved.
As
How, dude, you already called it like months ago where you said, yo, how convenient. I need a guy to go look for some kids.
yeah, he'd be
I
the
know a guy
perfect
who's good with a
guy.
little green kid.
But the K's in the chat says, "Yay, what's up, y'all? What up, K?
We
It's
back.
been a minute. We back in it." The only thing that makes me question it, man, is I'm afraid that they're committed to starting this Mandalorian and Grogu movie fresh off the heels of season 3's events, to where they don't want to confuse the viewer of where Mando and Grogu have been. You know,
Who's to say we can't have a good little romp, little
because they've
adventure?
been down that road before, though. Like everybody made a big deal. Oh, you had to see the Book of Boba Fett in order to enjoy season 3 of the Mandalorian. You know. And I'm afraid that
Yeah.
they've learned a lesson to maybe, okay, we can't have him touch Skeleton Crew then,
That gave
because
us the
then
best episode of Star Wars in a long, long time with Boba Fett. Mando
the
episode.
Return of the Mandalorian episode.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, that was pretty daggum good.
Ever since the end of season 2 of Mandalorian. That's not that long. But still.
Kay says, I've missed y'all. Sucks I missed the first hour of the stream. It's all good. That's what it's
good.
there
Happy you're
for.
here. We're
Go
happy
back.
we're able to
Yeah.
make it.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm glad
dude,
you're here live. Appreciate you.
All right. So just to give overall thoughts, love this episode. We are firing on all cylinders. I am obsessed. I want to know everything about the characters. I want to know about Ad, and I want to know about why is it a treasure planet? Why did they destroy the other ones? Where is everybody at? Who's the supervisor? Like, this is what a good show does, my man. It's answered all my whys, and I am left dying for more. And I love the characters. Like, I am obsessed with Jod, frankly.
Yeah.
But also I love Kim, dude. I think that's fascinating.
Oh yeah.
Just out here charting the planets and the stars and like, dude, so
Everything, every character that they've introduced, other than, and I'm with you on Vane. He's the
mhm.
one. He's the one character, and that's not Skeleton Crew's fault. That's more Mandalorian season three's fault. Every character they've introduced, other than Vane, I'm
Yeah.
very much so interested
I
in.
I think that's why I like the show so much that like it takes it kind of next level for me is because it feels fresh
Mhm.
to me. It
Yeah.
feels new. It's fun. The kids talking about Jedi in a good way.
Yeah.
Like he is us. It's very clear, right? He is the nostalgic, that's what I grew up on character. And it works so well in this show. Works
Yeah.
so well, man. I
Tay
just
says,
think
"I love
every
how well executed and fun this show is." Absolutely.
exactly. That's exactly what I'm, in my mindset there because man, it just feels so good. Feels like the Goonies. They've nailing the Goonies, and
Yeah,
I
they are.
love the Goonies. It's in like my top 5 of all time. Nostalgia, I know I'm blinded by that, but what a good movie the Goonies is.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
man,
One other thing that's been on my mind too, and I might be alone in this take. Just watching Skeleton Crew. Kay says it's refreshing. Watching Skeleton Crew makes me second guess because I've always had the opinion, look, get out of the Skywalker saga. Like you can go way back, you can go way forward. Other than I've reached the point. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words there.
you're right. Go.
I've reached the point. Other than Andor on Disney Plus, stay right here in this pocket until you're done with this story. Like this is your sweet zone. Favreau and Filoni, if it's in this after Return of the Jedi, before The Force Awakens, 30-year pocket gap, you're killing it. But it's when you venture outside of that, other than Andor, because you have Kenobi and Acolyte, other than Andor, that I just they're missing something. The only loss so far in Mandoverse, so far, in my opinion, has been Book of Boba Fett. But there were great moments in there. I don't know. Am I alone in that and thinking like on Disney Plus, let's focus on just this Mandoverse area until we're done with that story. But it sounds like maybe they're just going theatrical with it after this, other than Ahsoka season 2.
I think Disney Plus becomes a video library
Mm.
is what Disney Plus is going to become. It's
Okay.
going to become a bookshelf of movies and
Okay.
TV shows.
Okay.
They are gouging money. I think this is across the board, by the way. It's not just Disney. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
This is everybody. Netflix, Apple TV, everybody. That is going to be a thing of the past, and they're going to the movies. Look at Moana
Okay.
2. They were going to make it a Disney Plus show.
That would have been dumb.
They didn't. That you can tell. I saw it. You can tell.
Not as good.
Not as good. Still good.
Still
Still
good.
good.
Okay.
Still worth
I
watching
can live with that.
easily.
Okay.
Easily. But it just made like a gajillion dollars at the box office.
Yeah,
Is where I'm going with
it's
that.
probably gonna make a billy.
They're not gonna do this anymore. They're not playing this game. I think what we're going to get is it's going to be kind of like this, frankly. Like if we
Yeah.
get a show, it's gonna be this ancillary, weird, off thing, is
Uh-huh.
what I
Okay.
envision in the future. Just as like a business
Yeah.
mathematician in my mind, I'm going, this ain't working. So they're
Yeah.
going to the box office where they actually make money.
Well, let me
And
throw this out there real
yeah, go
quickly
ahead.
while I'm thinking of it.
Mhm.
John Watts has been toying with the idea or throwing out the idea of, oh, hey, we have a season 2 planned.
Good,
They're
great point, dude.
they're getting it. I see the writing on the wall
So
already. I think they're getting it
they're green
100%.
lighting that thing, dude.
I
I've
think
told you, there's
I
been
think
no negative press
I think
on
they
this
already
show.
have. I think they've already greenlit it in 2 weeks. I think Lucasfilm and Disney have seen the reaction, the critical reaction and the fan reaction. I think this is already a signed on the dotted line.
Well,
John
and
Watts,
I
I
think
think is willing to do it, and I think they are happy to do it.
not only because of the reception, but also it fills the niche we talked about like a couple months ago,
Yeah.
where they don't have a show that I can just go, hey, my kids, let's just watch a Star Wars show.
Mhm.
Instead, I could go, okay, let's watch Ahsoka. Well, there's this character, and I know we're jumping in here, and there's this thing, and oh, you want to watch Acolyte? No, you don't want to watch that. Here's Kenobi. Like, you know him, and you know this guy, but it's not Darth Vader yet, but it is Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Like, my point there is like, I think this fills the perfect little gap in being a Disney Plus show. It's so good, like
Mhm.
well executed up to this point,
Yeah.
and also it's this wouldn't make $1 billion at the box office.
No.
And so I just think I think you're right, man. I think you're right. Cases that's kind of how I've kind of always viewed Disney Plus, anyways. Yeah, exactly. And mostly positive. However, viewership is sadly low, though I believe it'll grow. First two episodes didn't break the top
Ooh.
20 streaming shows.
But I think that's okay in this case
I
because
was about to say it.
I don't think the budget is. I mean, the Acolyte was like $200 million to make. I don't think Skeleton Crew's touching that.
I think the expectations were lower,
Yeah.
as they should be. We even kind of said that. Like, look, don't come into this expecting amazing viewership, but like, man, and Michelle says, I agree, Kay. Word of mouth is starting for this show. Plus, with the holiday break coming, viewership will grow. I completely
Yeah.
agree with that.
And
This is
thank
going
you,
to be the
Michelle, for letting me know where to go get that video. I'll check it out.
yeah, for sure. I just man, I think this is it's almost a culmination of things. It's
Mm.
perfect timing. It's a
Yes.
show that Star Wars doesn't have. It's refreshing, as we pointed out, but also it's just good. It's hard to make a good something, and this is good so far.
Man, you want to know something to get excited about? Next week's episode, directed by the Daniels. They won an Oscar for
The Daniels?
everywhere all at once. Everything everywhere all at once.
Oh, so it's gonna be a big one.
They're directing episode 4.
We're going to Atten.
Watch out, folks.
Hmm,
It could get weird.
could get
Sign
weird.
me up, baby.
Do you think Jack Black shows up? Question.
Oh gosh, don't do that to me.
You said weird. That's immediately what I thought of.
Don't do
No.
that to
Like,
me.
I think, man, I am so excited for next week. I
Yeah,
love
I'm
this
excited for
show.
this show, man. This is crazy. I look. I shared that I was excited. I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm excited for Star Wars. Shocker! Spoiler alert! Whoa. Breaking news.
He
I'm
said, "What?"
excited. I'm happy. I'm looking forward to every Star Wars show that comes out. I don't care what people are trying to spin on social media. I don't care what people are trying to complain or cry about. I'm always getting pumped. This show is still exceeding my expectations. I think I brought that up at the beginning, but just to circle back, this show has exceeded my expectations. I did not expect to I didn't expect to feel like it was appointment TV. I thought I would have the feeling of, oh, I just need to make sure that I watch this before we cover it or before we go live. But I now have the feeling of, I got to watch this thing as soon as it drops, baby.
Dude, that's a perfect culmination. Touche on that. It's like it is gone from like I gotta be honest. I didn't watch it right when it dropped or even earlier today. But that's just because of life. That ain't because of this
Sure.
show. Now, for sure, we're locking in because I want to know every little detail. 40-minute episode, by the way. Let's go.
I was shocked by that too.
Let's go. I freaked out a little bit because
One
I was
thing I
like,
texted you about, I was like, okay, we're gonna see maybe the happy feels are gonna get bumped down a notch whenever we're waiting week to week for just 20 something minute episodes.
yep.
I got surprised,
40-minute
baby.
episode, and it felt like 5 seconds, dude. It was just
Yeah, it was
Kay
good.
says so long as the Lizzo doesn't show up. Exactly. They for sure get a win with this one. They'll have a win with Andor, and then on the Mando movie. I mean, I don't want to say that Mando Talk called this, by the way, but this is exactly what we talked about.
Mm.
Win this, jump into Andor.
Dude.
It's gonna be baller.
Mhm.
Don't come at me. I didn't even see nothing about it. It's gonna
Look,
be sick.
Look,
And then you jump into Mando Grogu.
I'm feeling good. It's Star Wars. Don't mess this up.
How
You're
you
in a
build momentum,
you're in
my
a
guy.
great spot. You're in a great spot with how Skeleton Crew is clicking, and you nailed it, Kay. And we know Andor's going to be a win. We know it's going to be a success. And yeah, give me that Billy, Mando and Grogu. Put a Billy on the
It's
map.
getting a Billy.
Let's go.
Michelle says, I started teaching elements of fiction with my sixth graders, decided to show this weekly and discuss. My students are so into it. They can't wait each week.
That's
I freaking
awesome.
love that. I
Michelle, that's
love that.
incredible.
Incredible. Not only because you're exposing them to Star Wars, which is amazing, but
Yes.
also like, dude, that's like perfect. That nails
is.
exactly that topic. Yeah, that's awesome.
Man,
That's amazing. What, you
Skeleton
need
Crew.
to bring it into your math class, my boy.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that one, man.
Hey, they
Matrices.
talk about matrices. That's right, baby. Boom. There you go.
I can show them that
now you have
clip.
an excuse. That's why
Look,
the principal
the
comes
next
in. They're like,
time.
why are you showing Star Wars?
No. The next time a kid's like, yo, when am I ever going to use matrices? I'm going to be like, look, our boy Wim and Neil are using them in Star Wars.
Yeah,
in
they're
a
using
galaxy
the
far
galaxy, baby.
away.
Kay says, I'm watching it with my daughter who's 8.
Ooh,
I love that. I love
that
that.
reminded me of something that I wanted to say. You had mentioned like earlier, you were talking about how kids could watch this and have fun with it. One of the most refreshing things that I'm seeing is like all of these content Star Wars creators not necessarily posting their review, but their kids' reviews of Skeleton Crew. Like that's been so cool and so fun to read. And it makes me just slightly jealous because Dawson's definitely not at the age where he could understand what we're watching. But one day, I know Skeleton Crew is going to be something that's easily accessible.
Yeah. Avery, and they're not there yet. Avery's close. I think she would watch it just because it has kids in it because they love Home Alone this year. I guess because she's getting a little older, they're like obsessed with Home Alone. So I guess they're starting to pick up on the cues and stuff. So I don't know. I can't wait to experience this with them, and I want to get Taylor in on this show too. My wife, for listeners, I would love to get her
wife in
shout on this because, man, I would love to watch this with her. This is good stuff.
I agree.
I love the show.
Kay says that's so awesome, Michelle. Michelle says I tied mean, median, and mode into it. They each rate the episode. We average it out. That's incredible.
You get a clap. I don't even know if you can hear it, but you get a clap, Michelle.
DB, what up, DB? Been a minute.
Hey,
glad to see you. My 17-year-old son is catching things I am not, and I am on par with NR with the Easter eggs.
New rock stars? Is that what that is?
Maybe. But yeah, DB, that's awesome to hear. I'm glad that your son is catching things too. I look forward to those days. Kay, she clapped at the end of the last episode. I think her fave part was SM33 going beast mode in episode 2. Yeah, that was really cool. OMG, my kid fell in love with Home Alone this year too. She is so obsessed as well.
Something in the air this year, man.
I mean,
loving Home Alone.
I'm loving Home Alone too, but I'm not a kid, I guess. DB says yes, New Rock.
Yeah. New Rock Stars is next level on that. I need to actually go and watch the episodes. I haven't done that with this show yet. To your point, it's like I knew I was gonna probably like this show a little because it's kind of saying all the right things, but I did not expect to love the show that I do at this point, and I use the word love, strongly here because I want to know. I want to watch the next episode. It feels so good to feel that way.
SM Michelle says SM33 is great. Already one of my favorite droids.
And then they come back.
Hey. New thing, folks. New thing. For Skeleton Crew, when you hop in the chat, the first thing you just need to say is
hey. That's right. I love that. Dude, it was that's so good. Very very Star Wars humor to me with that. I think you just nailed it. I love SM33 so much.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Okay, I swear this show gets funnier the more I'll watch reactions to it. 100% agree with that too. Because it was the second watch.
Earlier to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I meant to say this earlier, and I don't know why I didn't. Oh, going back to loving the show.
Yeah.
It's a very good sign that I want to rewatch the episodes. I've already rewatched 1 and 2 more than once. So that's a very good sign that I'm wanting to go back and watch them.
100%. It's a very rewatchable show. Because I have watched all episodes twice now, and each time so far, I would love to do it a third time. Honestly, I catch something new, some small detail that just scratches that Star Wars itch that makes me happy. You know. So
Yeah.
whoever said before going into the show, this doesn't look or feel like Star Wars? Yeah, suck it.
Yeah, it's Star Wars. We tried to tell you. Yeah, they put modern music in there, and then they throw in Hutty. Like, give me a break.
Yeah,
The
I
music
agree.
has been amazing. We didn't talk about the music cues. The music's been amazing here. It's not been like front and center as much as
Oh
normal to
yeah,
me,
great call.
but
That's
dude,
Giacchino's son.
the little yeah, dude, the little like force
Oh,
theme when he's using the force,
at the
it
end of
gave me
episode
chills a little
1.
bit.
Me
I was
too.
like, "Oof."
Yeah, this cat did the Penguin show, the score for the Penguin.
What a show, brother! What a show!
I told you. I
I gotta
told
zoom in
you.
that one. What a show!
Show of
Ah,
the year.
show of the year. Yeah.
DB, as much as I am digging the eggs and OG references, some of my friends and other Star Wars content creators are calling it old now. So we don't want references to OG stuff. No one can win, apparently. That is crazy. I haven't come across that, and I
If
don't want to.
anyone says that this is like not Star Wars to them, I question their actual intention of like what is Star Wars to you besides lightsabers and nostalgia? Because this is nostalgia. He had a battle droid in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get that at all.
You had the battle droid. It's a battle droid. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Battle droid.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you had a battle droid, and then you had the other. I can't see nothing droid like banging into the wall in the background too. Like it just come on now. And
Crazy.
Michelle says DB. Some people just hate on everything. Bingo.
Yes. Agreed.
Bingo.
Agreed.
Kay says music has been great. Loved the theremin or however you spelled last episode. I love a good theremin, man. I'm a sucker for a
It's a
theremin.
theremin.
Let me Google it. I don't want to say it wrong. I don't want. I
Oh,
don't want
okay,
to say it
okay,
wrong.
okay.
Yeah,
Fair,
yeah.
fair.
It's
I'm
the thing
following.
you can like go. It's like these little. It's like a little stick, and you go like.
Oh, really?
Like that kind of weird sound.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I think okay, okay. I'm following. I'm following. All right, I remember now.
Yeah. Like I,
I'll
I saw
catch it.
this dude on TikTok, and he was like making songs with the theremin. It was amazing, dude. He was just like. It was awesome.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Okay, yeah. Some people just look for ways to hate, but it's so obvious it's a stretch. Yep.
With this
Yep.
show specifically.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, all right. Skeleton Crew. We did it. We caught up episodes 1 through 3. Oh wait, DB says okay off my podium. What he say? DB, let's
Let it out,
backtrack.
DB.
It is like they're complaining about the nostalgia. Whoa, what now? So you don't want Acolyte or sequel trilogy or nostalgia, or okay, those can't be happy. I guess no matter.
Bingo. It's like just don't watch. Like I don't want just don't watch it. You don't get to enjoy this at all. Then see ya.
Hey, DB, you're welcome to use Mando Talks chat as a podium
Yeah.
anytime you'd like.
Just
All right, guys. Skeleton Crew episodes 1 through 3. We loved it. It sounds like those of you that tuned in live with us loved it as well. So that's great to hear. But if you're watching or listening on the playback, make sure you sound off down in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, if you are listening on podcast platforms, those podcast platforms are back while Skeleton Crew is releasing, as we do spoiler discussions for episodes, or in the case of life scenarios, groups of episodes. Just stay tuned on social medias as far as when episodes are going to be dropping. I'm going to aim for Wednesday nights live streams, but if that doesn't happen, that doesn't happen because, family and life are the priority. And you get that. I know you get that. So thank you so much. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. We would greatly appreciate it. Zach, any final thoughts for our lovely audience?
No, just so happy to finally kind of get this off my chest, talk about this show. I love it. I cannot wait for next week, man. I really can't.
Absolutely. And shout out to the chat. Let me do this because I always do it, man. I always love running through here and shouting out everybody that tuned in. Shout out Galactic Cantina. Shout out Star Wars Order. Shout out Anthony. Shout out Michelle. Shout out Avi Aki, the new listener from Dallas, Texas. Love that one. Shout out Kay. Appreciate and DB. Y'all had the chat popping tonight, and I greatly appreciate it. DB says, "Thanks, guys. Y'all are great. Michelle, great show, great chatting. Have a great week, and may the force be with you." Kay says, "Busy time of year too," but also says, "Awesome sauces." See, when I read that, I think awesome sauceum. Anyway.
I don't know what that is.
It is what it is. Okay, let's get out of here. I greatly appreciate everybody. I'll catch you on the next one. And as always, we have spoken, but secondly, I